Scissor lifts are very common on construction sites. It's common to see 10 or more on one site depending on the scope of the project. Although very expensive, most companies choose to use rentals. I'm going to show you some of the basic operations and controls of these scissor lifts, some of the do's and some of the don'ts. Let's start with the don'ts.
44 with a skyjack. Will be a white t-shirt.
Sir, pull that lift to the side of the road. Stop now.
What the heck are you doing out here?
43 is charge.
I'm working a job site right there, man.
45.
Right down there. What are you doing down there? What are you doing in this thing?
I just came to get some lunch and sodas and whatnot for the guys.
What's your name?
Steve.
Well, Steve, I can't have you driving up and down the street in this skyjack. You're sitting on beer.
That's for after. I'm not drinking it now.
What about that beer there I saw you drinking coming out of the driveway?
49 this
Oh, man, I'm just finishing that one was from earlier. That's...
Steve, I can't have you driving down the road in a skyjack drinking beer. Why don't you come on down and talk to me here for a minute? Let's figure this out. Steve, come on down.
Come get me. How about that?
I'll tell you what, Steve, we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way.
Come on up.
The hard way, on the way to jail, we're going to stop by the hospital.
Oh, maybe I'll come down. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll come down.
9097.
Maybe I won't.
Steve?
97.
Come get me.
There are a couple of things to note about Steve's adventure. First, as I have identified here, there is a control panel on the base of the lift, which allows you to control this lift from the ground. Secondly, this is a minor point, but there is a safety chain that should be latched when you enter the lift, which ensures that no one falls out of the backside or the entrance of the lift. This is the least of Steve's worries, but on a construction site, the superintendents and safety managers that walk around are sticklers for this safety latch. A scissor lift is a very useful piece of equipment. They're used by insulation companies, plumbing companies, sheetrock, heating and air, you name it. Underneath there is a compartment on both sides for the mechanical aspects of the lift. These will not need to be used by most people. On this side you can see the controls to turn on and stop operations of the lift, as well as to operate the lift. And last but not least, the safety chain. Now, the controls are very basic and simple to operate. Each of the buttons have an illustration providing insights into what the control does. First, you have a red stop-start button. With this button pulled up, the lift is operational. Secondly, you have the button indicated by the yellow arrow, which is to bring the lift up and down. Next, the button indicated by the green arrow is to move the lift forward and backward. You will use the joystick to operate both of those functions. Mounted on top of the joystick is two buttons. These are switches to operate the direction the wheels move. The controls on different models will have slight differences. I will show you a couple of examples. Now, as on all lifts, you start by pulling up the power switch. Now, this particular model, you need two fingers. You first start by pressing the engage button and then press the up button at the same time to move upward. Then you press the engage button and press down to move downward. Here is an example of an older style lift with toggle switch controls. Now, to engage the top buttons, you must first pull the trigger on the back of the joystick. For example, you press the top right button and the wheels turn to the right. Because of the turn radius, these lifts are very maneuverable and able to fit in tight spots. Also, I can tell this lift is nearly dead because of the slow pace at which it's moving. In order to charge the lift, you just run an extension cord to the plug on the end of the lift. And lastly, sometimes you have two people on a lift. You press this button and kick it out for more room. These lifts come in handy, and there are many types, sizes, and brands. One thing is for sure, if you work in construction or around construction, you're bound to use one at some point.
97. Come get me.
Come on down. Just come on down. Let's work this out. Get you back to work.
Oh, man, why don't you just go on your way and I'll go on my way? What are you doing, man? I know my rights. I'm 2 blocks from my work.
Put that cigarette down.
247.
Put your cigarette down.
Female subject walking eastbound from a vehicle.